Welcome back to Five Questions. I'm your girl AJ, the Suburban Princess here. This is a very special Five Questions because this is someone who I met and who linked me to a friend of mine who y'all know when I first started this whole project in lockdown. Please welcome someone who I adore and I haven't seen in years, and that's why I did this. Please welcome Selena. Welcome.
Yes, Miss Queen
Ah,
Selena, if you're nasty.
oh,
Hi.
she said Queen
Round of
Selena.
applause.
We gonna do
That's
that. We're gonna do that.
that's right.
All right, Queen Selena. All right. And I thank you very much again, because like I said, I always never assume everybody got time to do this, but you made time and I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. For you, anything. Yes, absolutely.
Damn. Okay. All right. So as you know, when I told you when I sent you the email and stuff for questions, I was telling you I did this out of boredom slash trying to get over some anxiety from the lockdown period. We all thought it was gonna be brief, and then it turned out to be like a year and a half of nothing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the reason why I started it was because one, I always wanted to interview, and as you know, as
Hmm.
you being a singer when I met you a long time ago, we'll get into that.
Hmm.
And then
Oh
also
God,
seeing
another
people
life.
another life, as you know me, I had five in my mind that I thought was gonna
Yes,
happen.
you do.
Yes. And on Instagram, if you were on social media, especially during the lockdown, you saw a lot of celebrities doing a lot of one-on-ones. Some people were doing I was a fan of watching Tori Kelly pick random people and sing with them and stuff, and I loved that.
Right.
So then
Yeah.
came a reason for me to do YouTube because one, most of my podcast started Birds of a Feather, with just talking about sports with my friend Eddie. A lot of them I did by myself.
Yeah. Congratulations on that, because I seen that. Very good.
Yeah, sometimes as a
Proud of you,
female,
girl.
when you love sports and you don't have a lot of many girlfriends that are into it, like I'm into it, it's
Hmm.
refreshing to know that you have
Right.
that's actually respects that you like and know what you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Like mine. So anyway, but that's why I wanted to do this project. So five questions just came about because I figured that's as many questions as I really would ask random people who I didn't already know. And uh,
Hmm.
and then it also just became a way to talk to people who I haven't seen like yourself. So we're going to start off with the familiar questions because I think they kind of are easy to kind of open up with. Um,
Okay.
so,
All
like I
right.
said, I'm loving the fact that social media has opened up dialogue amongst people. So, when you first logged on to when Facebook exploded, Instagram, Twitter, if you're on that, why did you originally start doing that? Was it out of boredom? Was it just because you wanted to meet people? You like to follow celebrities? What was your reasoning?
You know what? It probably was out of boredom. But I figured well, the first thing I did with in social media was like Facebook.
Yeah,
And I kind of stumbled on Facebook accidentally. Like I guess I was scrolling the internet and I was like, Facebook, okay, let me check this out. And when I got on it, I seen that there was like people on there that I've known for like years from school,
yeah,
and I'm like, wow. So, I made an account and then I just found everybody from school, everybody from grade school, high school, back in the day, and everybody was on there. So I was like, it's like a good place to come and be social and get back in touch with each other. So that's the
right.
reason why I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what
And I
because
loved it.
I loved it too because eventually, if you start on MySpace, which was where I started on MySpace,
Yeah, MySpace. Hmm.
you transition to both because eventually MySpace became obviously something that became kind of dead, and you found this
Right.
community that started originally with college students and then eventually branched out to, unfortunately, what it has eroded into now with the climate
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
become a Russian tool. I should say that
Right.
right now. But also, and Twitter has had a reputation now of becoming basically dangerous, but I'm still on there because I find that that's where kind of the world of memes developed and where the jokes
Yeah.
are. And just sometimes it's just there to laugh.
Girl, and sometimes I'm just nosy. So I like to look in people's stuff and
Yes,
see, it's refreshing to see like people that you grew up with and you see their families and
yes,
see their kids and it's
right.
just really nice. But then you could peek and see what they talking about and be all up in
Mhm.
the business. That's what I'm talking about. So I
Now, do
kind of
you
did it for that too.
feel like now, since the evolution of it, because when Instagram started again, it was another random app that everyone thought originally was just going to be for pictures, for moments you want to capture that
Right.
work. when Polaroids became out of style, I should say, because now they're kind of returning. But it became your own like personal account to just have moments, and then it
Yeah.
grew to video, and then it grew to being reels and everything now. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's taken on its own thing. What do you think has become the danger of it now, as opposed to when you first were on it at a boredom?
You know what? It's so funny because I've gravitated more to Instagram now, and I'm more on Instagram than Facebook
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
But the social media can be so so weird sometimes, and it can be dangerous, especially for younger kids
Yep.
that be on there. You just have to be careful of what you're watching, and you have to be mindful of what your kid is watching as well. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it can be dangerous at times.
Do you find
Watching
yourself?
different stuff.
Do you follow your children? Because how many children do you have now?
Well, I have two. I
Okay.
have two kids, a son and a daughter.
Yes.
And I do follow my daughter on there. My son is not on there, thank goodness. He's more on YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
He like the video games and all that stuff.
Yes.
But my daughter's on there, and I do keep a little eye on her page. Which she has nothing on there derogatory or anything negative or anything. It's all positive, and she's a good kid, so I kind of trust her. She's older now. I kind of trust her with her own page and doing her own thing. So, and I love it. And I'm proud of her. She's doing her own thing. So,
Yeah, and she's college student now, right?
yes, she is, and she's
Ugh.
living in Philly in
Oh,
her own. Yeah, she's got her own apartment. She's about to start
nice.
Drexel.
Nice. The
Hmm.
dragons. Okay, yeah, because my
Yeah.
niece, my niece is at UArt, so she's about to go back for
Oh, okay.
illustration now. I think that's what her last major is. I know she changed it again, but
Oh.
so yeah, my sister has two kids. I mean, three kids, excuse me, and the boy, just like you say, there's two girls and a boy, and the boy would
Uh-huh.
always start on YouTube, and it was Minecraft.
Yeah.
They opened
Yeah.
me up.
Michael. Yeah.
I can't. I don't
Yeah.
understand why that's fascinating, but
Me neither.
I ain't supposed to know. But moving on, I wanted to say since we first met, like I said before, I met you at an audition at the time you were auditioning
Yeah, my audition.
your audition for a
Yes,
girl group.
I
Yes,
put the ad in the paper,
yes,
and you answered the ad. You came to my house, and you auditioned for me, and
yes.
the rest is history, I guess.
The rest is history because, as you know, Jen, my best friend of 20 plus years, she was one of the
Jen.
audition. You remember?
Yes, I
So
remember her.
yeah, so she and I met that way, and but I wanted to know since then, obviously, I'm sure you've had a lot of things that happened between now and then. Does your
Ooh,
love for music still exist? Do you love it in a different way now?
you know what? I kind of like, I love to sing. Like in the beginning, I wanted a girl group. I wanted to
Hmm.
do the daggone thing. I wanted to be in there. And I think what happened was my mother, she got sick and she eventually passed away, but it kind of took away from like the passion that I had for music because during that time I was actually recording with a I was recording. I was writing music. I was recording with a producer by myself at that time. And then she got sick and it kind of, life kind of happened. So it kind of took my passion away a little bit for singing. But for like now, I love music. I have a passion for music, even though it has changed tremendously.
Hmm. Hmm.
Music is just not the same as it was before. But as far as singing, it's not something that I really want to pursue per se, as a career. I just do it just for fun now. It's not like I was when I was younger.
Got you.
I'm older and I've been through a lot of stuff, and then I had two kids, and it just life just took over that part. So
I understand that
yeah,
because I told you, as you
yeah,
know me, I said I was going to do 50 million jobs. See where I'm at.
yeah. You girl, you should have been born Jamaican because 50 million child. That's what. You love everything, and that's what I,
Yeah.
you know what, that's what I admired about you, because you wanted to do everything and you wanted to put your hand in everything, and that's what you did. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And I loved it. I love that about you.
I lived
You
vicariously
know?
through all my dreams, and I think that the only thing
Yes.
I could say I give myself credit to was that I did audition a lot around that time when you knew me, and
Yeah, you
I had
did.
no fear of going to New York. I had no fear of going to any audition, and I went
None.
to. But I
Yes.
think, like you said, life happened. A lot of stuff uh, emotionally and mentally changed. That
Yes.
a lot of life stuff just starts, like you said, just starts to happen, and then you start realizing
Mm,
you do not have that drive or that attention span
yes.
dedicate to a
Absolutely.
craft, you know. And
Absolutely.
but thank God for social media in that sense that it has rescued me from not believing that I could pursue it on some kind of level. And
Yeah.
but the problem is with this mic, as you have noticed, that everybody thinks they deserve a mic, and not everybody can talk. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
realized that I'm one of one, as Beyonce would say. I'm one of one. But anyway, going back to originally how this started, when the lockdown began, how did you handle it? Were you more like most people who thought it was literally going to be like a couple months, and not even a couple months, just be like, all right, whatever, 2 weeks, whatever? Or did it totally crush your world when you realized you really couldn't do anything?
Yeah, I was like everybody else. I thought it was like going to be like for a 2 week period, maybe 4 weeks, I had no idea it was going to be that long. And it kind of didn't crush my world because I'm kind of a homebody anyway. I'll be, but it was just the fact that my choice of, even if I wanted to go out and do stuff, or I had to go out and wear a mask, that was a little jarring for me. You know what I mean? So I just took it upon myself, like what you're doing. Um, I was just sitting at home one day, and I was just going through YouTube, and I was looking at dance videos and stuff, and that's one thing, I don't know if you know about me. I love street dance, and I wasn't into it like I am now, but I love it to death.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at dance videos, and I happened upon something called Battle Fest. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, what's this? So I clicked on it, and street dancers battling against each other. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh shoot. So I watched the whole series. It was 2 seasons of it on YouTube, but they moved to Caffeine.
Okay.
But
Oh, I've
it's
heard of
two series
caffeine.
of it. Yeah. The app Caffeine. So I was so excited about that. I'm like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
loved it. And I really got more deep into it. Started looking at more videos of different underground artists that I've never even heard of, never even
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
And what's funny, as I was watching Battlefield, it was this one dancer that just blew me away. And I was so excited about him. His name is Arsenal. So
Okay.
I'm like, oh shoot, this guy, he blew me away
Yeah.
with what he did. So I ended up DMing him on IG. I was like, I'm gonna send him a message just to let him know that, I love this shit. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
excuse me,
No, go
can
ahead.
I
Go
curse on
ahead.
this? Oh,
Talk
I love
freely.
this shit. So,
Talk
so
freely.
okay. So I ended up DMing him, and I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think he would talk to me back. He don't know me
Right.
or
Right.
whatever. And I was telling him I never heard of him before, but I love what he did.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I remember sitting in a room with my daughter, and I was talking to her, and I had my phone in my hand, and then all of a sudden my phone was dinging. So I
Mm.
looked up at my phone, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, he left me a voicemail. So he ended up leaving me a voicemail telling, thanking me,
Hmm.
for sending him the message. He loved the fact that he didn't know me. I
Right.
mean, that I didn't know him,
Right. Right.
that I
Right.
know him now. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't believe it. And then I heard another thing. He started following me.
Okay.
So I'm like, wow.
Wow. Yeah. It's always flattering when
So
people you like follow you. Yeah.
yeah, he was the first dancer that started following me. So I was like, you know what? I'm bored. It's a pandemic. I ain't got
Right.
nothing going on.
Right.
So I was so excited about this Battle Fest thing that I was like, let me clear my page on IG and dedicate my whole page to just street dance just to see, because I don't even know if people knew of Battle Fest or knew of these underground artists like this.
Yeah,
So I
that's
was like, let me be the one to put it in the forefront.
nice.
So I decided to start downloading their content to my page. I put their videos up and everything. And I just did it on a whim. I didn't ask for permission. I didn't say, can I do da 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 da.
Yeah.
Whatever I seen on my feed or whatever dancer I may have heard of somebody, say for instance, Animated J. He's another dancer that I love. I
Hmm.
looked him up and I seen his content. I may take some of his content and put it on my page. I
Hmm.
just did it out of a whim. And don't you know, I've gotten not only Arsenal following me, and like I say, Animated J follows me. I got Battlefest following me. I got all like the cream of the crop of
Yeah.
street dancers following me now and thanking me for making this page, thanking me for putting their content out. I'm blown away by it. I have so many dancers from around the world following me. I even have dancers giving me content to put on my page.
Nice.
Just this show. So I am Queen Selena
Okay.
on IG, and
Queen.
I am their street dance blogger. They,
Nice.
and it just blew into something. So maybe, you know, the pandemic, a gift and a curse.
It's the curse, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll put your IG information on the my bio too, because I always anybody I talk to, whatever you want to promote, I like to put it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I'll shout you
yeah,
out towards the end. But that's great. And I love that
yeah,
that developed. That's cool. That's
yeah. So I'm really into it, and I love it. I love it, and I'm still doing it to this day. It's been 2 years.
yep.
Two
Sounds like
years.
it. Yep, yep.
Yeah,
And that sounds great because I
yeah,
started the pod talking like 2017 before the Eagles went to the Super Bowl just because I was venting. Like I didn't think it was going to be anything. And then a
yeah.
friend of a friend told me that like you should have Eddie on, like a male voice or whatever. And so Eddie
Hmm.
came on, and it took a while for him to gravitate at first because he's kind of a chill, introverted dude. But I think
Hmm.
he respected the fact that I knew it most of the time what I was talking about. I may not get stats right, whatever, but he respected my love for it. So, and us
Yeah,
obviously being Eagles fans. So, but that's great. I think it's good. The pandemic, like you said, was a blessing and a curse. But I also,
yeah.
especially in this time frame we're in now, with this very fragile climate we're in politically and everything,
Mm.
feel like that if you have the use and the power of the social media, you should use it for positive content only because
Positive, absolutely,
it's so easy to feed into the beast that people are
absolutely.
for. So, yeah, God bless you because I think that's awesome. And I know people who
Yeah.
do pop locks, so maybe I might, have to put some context to you because
Oh, hook it up.
I know they still
Let's
out there
go.
trying to get their shine. So I will definitely give you some pages by the end of this show.
Yes,
So
I'm. You know what? With my page, it's called the Kings and Queens of Street Dance. I'm even trying to see if I could upgrade or do something else with this. Maybe brand it, do something.
make a
So,
showcase or something. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you
yeah,
definitely
a
because my,
dance tournament.
yeah,
You never know.
people love that. And honestly, you know what it is too, because in the climate of how rap music, we kind of miss that feeling of going back and forth. And there's people who
Mm.
secretly still love the battle rap world and stuff, but you
Oh
only see it in
yeah.
the movies with like Set It Off and stuff like that every now and then.
Uh-huh.
But people don't generally put it out there. But you're right. That's why caffeine is a good app, because for people who still have that love, it is definitely showcasing that. And that's news to me. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool for even
Yes.
but yeah, we'll
Oh,
definitely
you
talk
heard
after
it
the show.
first.
Yes.
Exclusive.
Yes, exclusive. I know. I wish I could do the
Exclusive.
special
Exclusive.
effect. Yes.
Yeah.
Bah, 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 bah. But all right. Student, you got a young son. Do you worry about, because I was saying earlier about how volatile it's been out in the climate, and it's nothing new for the shooting epidemic, but it has been obviously very excessive in the last like 5 years or so, and
Yeah.
with Black men especially literally seeming like they're open targets daily. what how have you dealt with either talking to your children or even advising them about being mindful of how people just have no regard for life anymore and just
Oh man.
stay mentally tough, and just how do you
Yeah. It's um it's a task. You know why? Because having a son and a daughter, they both are different. With my son, it's just like you really have to. Now, my son was diagnosed with ADHD. Okay.
Me
and like a little broad spectrum of autism, a
Okay.
little bit. So talking to him, sometimes he don't catch on to what I'm saying immediately.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But I tried to tell him, to be careful of certain things, to watch out for certain things, do not do certain things. When police around, like he may have like a toy water gun or something, and playing outside.
Yeah, because that's what
And
happens here.
you can't even do that. You can't
Yeah.
even play outside. It's terrible. It really
Stressful. Yeah.
is. It's really stressful. And I just pray and keep my kids in prayer.
Hmm.
And because he's a young black man, and it's been terrible what's been happening in the world today involving young black men, and I just don't want that to happen to my kid. As with any other kid, I don't,
Right.
but I try my best to warn him, to talk to him, to let him know what's going on in the world so he be aware of certain things. I do the same thing with my daughter. I always tell her to be careful, be
Hmm.
mindful of what you're doing. You're a young black woman living on your own now. You're by yourself, so be aware of your surroundings. Be careful what you're doing. She went and took on her own and took kickback. She went did karate and kickboxing and stuff like that. You
Good.
know, just so she could protect herself.
Exactly.
But it's just so much you can do. You can't tie your kid down. They're growing. So you have to let them, but you just have to warn them and just be aware of certain things and just to be careful and mindful of what's going on in the world today.
And that's all you can do. I mean, my
Yeah.
sister's in the same boat. I
Yeah.
mean, she got three kids, and on top of the fact they're biracial, so that's a whole nother battle.
Mm.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Because it's
Hmm.
inner racism, and then it's outside, and so
Right.
she has a lot of stress, I'm sure. And I try not to worry her too much because obviously I'm the auntie, and I want to be the fun auntie. I don't want to be the one always trying to scare them to death because
Right.
my dad did that with us as kids, always trying to make us aware of every dang thing, and then you become stressed out, you know?
Yeah, that's another thing. You don't want to stress your kids out, but then again, you don't want them to
Right.
not be aware of certain things.
Exactly.
It's just,
It's hard. It's hard, but
it's
prayer to me
hard.
is the strongest thing, and that's the one thing you can do without feeling like you're being overbearing. Because
Right.
even
Right.
for those who don't believe, I just strongly believe in a higher power, and I feel like that is the one thing
Hmm.
we're definitely missing from our core beliefs as people. Because I really
Yeah.
feel like we keep thinking we can control this mess, and you see what's happening. It gets
Yeah.
worse every day, it feels like so
Worse. Yes.
because everyone's not
Absolutely.
they're not taking life into account.
No, they're not. I
That's
think as a people, if we come together and work together to stop certain things with these shootings and the police and everything, maybe we can make some type of difference. But it's just like, I don't know. Everybody is just on their own thing. I don't know.
they are. I think it's the
Nobody's focused.
nobody's focused. The communication is the messaging
Yeah.
out there is definitely messed up, and I think it's
Yeah.
obviously flooded social media, which is why I say it's important if you do have that platform that you use it right because so many
Right.
kids are just out there following willy nilly.
Absolutely.
You just want to challenge people to just actually stand up for stuff that's right and not just ignore it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm not an activist, but I feel like it would be stupid after 2020 to really sit there and act like I haven't been more informed or felt like I had to be since
Hmm.
lockdown ended. Because what else were you doing? You were just hearing stuff on the news. Everyone obviously was aware when that whole killing with George. I'm blanking on his name.
George Floyd. George
George
Floyd.
Floyd. So
Yeah.
I think that at that point it became and not that it was a new concept, but it was just the fact that everyone knew that they couldn't the situation because we were home. We weren't allowed to
Right.
go anywhere as much. And that was something that was clearly put out there. So,
Right.
but before this cuts off, because I just realized, look, I ain't paying additional time. So
Oh, 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 oh,
look, Zoom.
shoot.
Look, they said after 40 minutes I gotta pay. I'm like,
Oh,
but
Lord.
I'll pay
Okay.
now. Oh, but
Lord.
I'm gonna
Okay.
talk to you after this.
Okay. Okay.
But last question I did want to ask you was what has since I've spoken to you, what can you honestly say has changed besides the fact that what the obvious stuff you said that changed in your life, since we last hung out, as far as what is your general perspective? Do you feel like you've had to grow more positive towards yourself? Because I know for me, I had to eliminate a lot of negative self-talk because with the changes in life,
Ooh,
you just really feel confident about yourself.
child, I have been going through the motions with myself, with life. I have been through a lot that you don't know yet. I'll talk to you after this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
um, it's been a struggle, and I think it with every like woman, like say for instance, I'm a heavy set woman. I've been
Hmm.
struggling with my weight. I've been struggling with my self confidence.
Yep.
Um, struggling not to say negative things about myself, but to bring in positivity. And it's been hard.
It's
It
hard.
really has. It's not easy to do something like that.
No,
Um, but
creative stuff.
yeah, I think you just have to stay focused and try your best. Like Mary J. Blige said, "Good morning, gorgeous." You just got to get up and just say these things to yourself, in order for you to just keep going. You know,
And what would you and I think like you said, day by day, do you have affirmations? Do you meditate? What keeps you at least willing to give it one more day?
I try to have affirmations. Um, sometimes I don't do the affirmations, but I need to. I need to
With
be
you,
doing them
I
every
tried.
day. I tried, at least I tried. But
I hear you. I used to
the
think it was hella
affirmation
corny.
thing, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it don't.
Yeah,
I tried doing them, but it is what it is.
I'm with you. I'm
I
with you.
think I'm gonna be trying for the rest of the daggone life. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't alone. Don't feel bad. 'Cause it's hard. I mean, honestly,
It is.
there are a lot of things that could make anybody want to just give up in life. But I just always feel like,
Yeah.
especially moments like these, I think is another
Mhm.
reason for you to just realize, like, I got a long way to go, but I'm still here. And you got two
Yeah.
reasons out there in life as to
But
why.
then I'm in my head like, when the hell is it going to happen? When are we going to, you know,
When is this going to speed up? No, I'm with
when is
you.
what?
I'm totally with you.
Uh,
I'm like sitting there going, God,
girl, time ain't on our side. You know what
seriously,
I'm saying?
I ain't 24 no more. Like we someone's got to pop,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
But like I said, I thank you so much for doing five questions. This turns out to
Oh, it was
always be.
fun.
It was more of a conversation, right? Because that's what I wanted.
Yes.
But like I said, time. But we gonna come right back on here. But I thank all of who watched. Thank you, AJ Jones. This is Queen Selena. I'll be putting her
Yes.
information and social media in my bio. So yes, definitely check this interview out. Queen Selena, we will talk soon.
Yes, we
Care.
will. Thank
Well,
you. Good to
take care,
see you.
guys. Bye.
Bye.